All right, I'm going to take from the Wall Street Journal how we improved the GOP debates, and this is by Sean Spicer, who's the Chief Strategist and Communications Director of the RNC. Really interesting. I still have a huge problem with how these debates are being conducted. Let's see if anybody agrees. Sean says the fact that we have primary debates and a field larger than a stage can handle should surprise no one. Those who dispute the use of national polls as the basis of deciding who's on stage for the first two debates should keep in mind that networks may use different criteria for subsequent ones. Debates are not be-all and end-all. They're just part of a larger process. Mitt Romney did not participate in the first debate of 2012, the 2012 cycle, but he still went on to win the nomination. The system may not be perfect, but had the RNC not tried to improve the debate process, I can assure you that the debates would be neither this inclusive nor this orderly. Joe, I don't think they're inclusive.
Well, no, they aren't, and I like Sean an awful lot, but I disagree with him here. I think the debates are the leveling win. You can have somebody that's got $100 million and somebody that's got $15.
That's right.
If Americans get a shot to see the man or woman that has $15 more clearly articulate, more aggressively state a positive, optimistic vision of the future, that $100 million does nothing to protect the front runner. And Mike Allen, I think this is going to be controversial regardless of the way they do it, but there's still something that just seems wrong about excluding some of the most qualified candidates in the race.
Well, Joe, you're exactly right. That's why Sean Spicer's piece, his first op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, he makes a great case. But what we see there a little bit is the preemptive doctrine, because the RNC knows that it's not just you and Mika that have a problem with how the debate lineup is coming out. There's a lot of powerful campaigns that will as well. Now, the RNC has punted to Fox the mechanics of it, but as we see in that graphic and in the Politico projection of who's going to be in, you have very serious people who are out. Governor Jindal, Governor Kasich,
obviously,
state.
It's ridiculous.
Harley Fiorina out, Lindsey Graham out.
And if we're going to use polls, first of all, everybody downplays Donald Trump and his impact on the race, and forget the polls. The polls are not important at this time, and all of a sudden the polls are being used to pick the candidates in the debate. It makes no sense.
Well, right now, the poll is a straw hole's view of what people think for that moment. And at this moment, Trump is leading. So he will make the...
Okay.
In some polls, he's leading. I mean, I saw the favorability piece saying that he was, his favorability numbers were low. But still, he is still number one in some people's minds. It's back and forth between him and Scott Walker.
People cannot have it both ways, April. They can't say the polls don't matter with Trump.
If the GOP were really seriously thinking about this, yes, you'd have your debate of the 10 people to include Donald Trump, Scott Walker, Jeb Bush, but you would also, for the group of 6 or 7 or 5,000 who missed out on that, you would have like a small forum prior to the debate and have those candidates talk amongst themselves calmly and civilly, and you'll still hear from those candidates. So there's a way to make this work.
But that's exactly what they're doing. Both Fox and CNN are doing a pre-debate. I actually think, and there's some advisors, some of the candidates who think this, it's better to be in that first debate. 5 thoughtful people, not dividing the time with Donald Trump right before the first debate. Let's all cover that event just as much as we covered the debate, and then it's fine. 16 people on stage, people get to talk 6 minutes each. That's not enough time.
Yeah, but you got candidates on stage and the main stage, and then those being left out.
Let's not treat it like a main stage. Let's treat each stage equally.
Well, that's not what's happening, Halpern.
Why not?
So,
what's the difference?
You tell me.
Well, the problem is you do have a bunch of candidates who are truly marginal. Nobody is really coming to hear Jim Gilmore, George Pataki, or any of these people. So you have to find some way to get the people who truly are relevant onto that stage.
Mika, Fox sees this problem, and they're looking for ways to fix it. One possibility, you might look for clips from that first debate, the GOP forum, to be used on what you guys are calling the main stage.
This is a mess.
Yeah. Yes.
No, it's all good.
Mika, the only thing I'll say is George Pataki won New York State 3 times. There's a perfect example of a guy that Steve Ratner, for instance, just dismissed. I want to hear George Pataki.
I want to hear Jim.
I want to hear Kasich.
I want to hear Kasich. I want to hear all of them. And I mean, having a guy that won New York State 3 times as governor, that's a guy whose voice we need to hear right now.
Yeah, well, It's not going to happen. Okay, coming up, 2 big sit-down interviews. This doesn't make any sense. This is unbelievable.
Cover the first debate.
What?
Cover the first debate.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I will.